Well, to the contrary, I can present Chelsea Handler and her comments about 50 Cent.
Do I hate this
evidence of an
fucking
open-minded
person?
woman.
Go ahead. I hate her. I hate everything about her. That because I'm
You
sexist.
heard about my ex-boyfriend, right? 50 Cent and his support of Donald Trump.
Yeah,
How
what's
he
going on
tweeted
between
about
you?
it.
I saw your tweets and I go, wait, what's happening? Because you said he was your favorite ex-boyfriend. And
Hold
then
on. Is this the guy who got Trump elected? Is this what I'm hearing right now?
The hair tussler.
Yeah. Is that the hair tussler and the jokester at the network that got Trump elected?
Yes, correct.
The guy who was on the years on Saturday Night Live, the show that Trump was on like 5 months before the election.
Yes.
Okay. And he's doing the host thing where he's like, oh, I saw it. What's going on? I got out, and God, he might be the worst because I think Colbert, Kimmel's the same way, I guess, is Fallon. But Colbert's like legitimately a liberal and like he actually cares. Trevor Noah, I think, really cares. Whether you like them or not, they get like Fallon is just doing it because he's afraid he's gonna get swallowed by Twitter if he doesn't.
Correct.
Like,
it's all fake.
It's fake.
All fake. Yeah.
Like I'll give these guys credit in a way. They're willing to torpedo their show in their ratings, in their hatred and derangement of Trump. I respect that in a weird way. Fallon is afraid that people are going to say you're the guy who, did the thing to Trump. You're the guy who did blackface.
You normalized him.
Yeah, you're the network that got him elected, and now you're not angry enough about it. Instead, he's going all in. You could tell he doesn't have a fucking clue. He knows nothing about it. Go ahead.
what does he do? He's supporting Trump?
Yeah, that's what
He
he's
says
doing.
he doesn't want to pay 62% of taxes, which, by the way, isn't a plan of Joe Biden's. That's a lie. So he doesn't want to pay 62%.
Hold on. I always get this confused. This is the same show that Johnny Carson used to host, right?
Yeah.
Like it's there it was built. My understanding was, and why Carson was so successful for all these years. We haven't heard Johnny Carson here lately. Joe and fucking Mary Singletonson in fucking Washington, Illinois, would after the kids were in bed and they had their dinner and took care of all their work stuff, put their PJs on, watch Johnny at night, have a couple of laughs before bed, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. That's what's going on now as well for John and Mary Singleton.
It seems to me that they've made a decision that half of the country is their gettable audience, and the other half.
Well, I think
fucking.
I think the other thing is the other half.
degenerates.
That's what I find interesting is that they're saying, Oklahoma, the Dakotas, wherever, Florida, Texas.
Yeah.
Pennsylvania.
You're not going to see a lot.
Fuck you.
You're not going to see a lot of John Deere ads on
Right,
late night television.
I know that there's no right wing equivalent of Chelsea Handler. I guess. Maybe it's Candace Owens. She's not a comedian, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. Well, they're
whoever that is. Whoever
Matthew McConaughey.
Sure.
He's a conservative.
But he's not going to go on.
polemicist.
He's not going to go on there and do that though.
I don't know, but he's saying we shouldn't ruin people.
Sure, but he's
because
not
of old tweets
like Vince Vaughn or whoever. They're not going to have him on and talk. They're not going to talk. If Matthew McConaughey went on the Tonight Show, he would talk about his book and tell some movie stories.
Yeah, but think about the equivalent of this would be like a conservative female star saying, "I had to, call up my black ex-boyfriend and tell him he was voting wrong."
Yeah, go ahead. Let me hear it.
Percent of taxes because he doesn't want to go from being 50 cent to 20 cent. And I had to remind him that he was a black person, so he can't vote for Donald Trump, and that he shouldn't be influencing an entire swath of people who may listen to him because he's worried about his own personal pocketbook. So I haven't heard back from him yet, but I am willing to, seal the deal in more ways than one if he changes his mind and publicly denounces Donald Trump. I might be willing to go for another spin, if you know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about? Sex?
So, a couple of problems with this. That's racist.
Well, of
like
course it's
pure
racist.
unadulterated racism.
Of course, I'm going to tell a black guy who to vote for.
And it's put out and celebrated in clips of like, oh, that's so funny how right she is.
Well, it almost sounds like she's his owner.
Yes,
like come on, get out of the plantation, come on over to the big house, and I'll give you a spin if you do what I tell you to do.
And so
that's exactly what she's saying.
That's the other thing.
Fallon's giggling about it because he doesn't understand he's a fucking moron.
This old bag thinks that sex with her is worth the higher tax rate 50 Cent would have to pay under Joe Biden.
Intern Justin's asshole. Fucking wide as after he's a fucking 20 pounds of chili. Give me that fucking asshole. Right after big fucking blast.
And then just on background, I still don't know why Chelsea Handler gets invited on to late night shows. Like, she had a YouTube, she had
probably
a
has
Netflix
she
show
must have
for a
some,
little while.
Well, she had a talk show. She has a she has followers. I bet she has millions of followers on Twitter.
Yeah, she had, but does that make you a celebrity just having a ton of followers on Twitter?
Yes, Steve.
I
It's
guess
2020. I mean,
there are some random accounts that have a
I know, but I mean, she's
known.
known. She's had books. And I mean, she's not funny. Again, I think she's supposed to be a comedian, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was the premise
Jimmy
of her
Fallon's
Netflix
like,
show.
okay, I'm going to set you up with this question about 50 Cent and now be racist. And did Jimmy wear blackface again during that or no?
No, he didn't.
No, he didn't. Okay.
He didn't.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah. So,
but good for Jimmy. He hasn't like fallen down and mysteriously broken an arm in quite a while.
that's
a couple
true.
of years.
I guess he must be on some medication that's taking care of that. I mean, he's a harmless idiot, but like he does this and it's just so true. I thought the same thing. I was like, it's like she's ringing the bell for him to come in after dinner.
And just like the tone with it too.
Oh, so it's like, you know.
And you also forget that this is basically exactly what Joe Biden said.
What do you mean?
He said, remember when he was doing the interview with Charlemagne? And he said, if you...
Oh, yeah. You ain't black. Right?
You ain't black.
Well, like, what if 50 Cent had said, what would Chelsea Handler's exam? And I love that Jimmy Fallon's like, oh, and like, what's going on with you and 50 Cent? Is there something like it was not planted in his fucking head? But what if I think his real name is Curtis Jackson, I believe is 50 Cent's real. I could be wrong. If he had said, I'm not voting for Joe Biden because he incarcerated a lot of my fellow black men with this bill. You know, he is responsible for that.
Yeah.
Would Chelsea Handler complain then?
I think she probably still would. Yeah. I think you can see that she's legitimately concerned, not about how 50 Cent's going to vote, but how young people listening to him and seeing him, following him on social media might vote based on what he's saying.
These guys are they're so blinded by this. It would go a long way for Jimmy Fallon if he was the one guy who was like, look, I don't like Trump. Okay, I'm going to tell jokes about him and bring people like Chelsea Handler on. But you know what I'm going to do too? Like, you know who's on tomorrow night? Tucker Carlson.
Tucker Carlson would actually be a great late night television
We're going to
guest.
talk. Well, I mean, he's not Don Rickles, but I mean, we're going to talk for 15 minutes. I'm going to hear his side of the argument. We're going to have a conversation. And he would gain more viewers by doing that than the viewers who would stop watching him. Now, he'd take a beating on social media. He'd have to brace himself for that.
Yeah, but I think you also have to be...
Or even if he had Sean Hannity on, I would say, good. He's having on a Trump spokesperson. Or, I always forget the name of Kayla
McEnany?
Yeah, if you had her on, I would say, I respect that.
Yeah,
Let's hear the other side. By the way, he should have Donald Trump on and Joe Biden. Like, they would be, why not?
Well, that would be good. I don't know if the White House press secretaries ever do late night TV, though.
But ask and say, hey, we asked. They said no.
Yeah.
Like, we're going to hear the other side because we're bludgeoning you with this stuff every day. Here's the other side. Here's America. Take a look at it. And we disagree with them, but here they are. Like, the people the viewers they would gain would be far more than the viewers they would lose. But they don't care. I'm telling you, these businesses now don't care about making money. It's fucking wild.